Welcome back, girls. Let us proceed from where we stopped. We're still on feed and livestock feed. Feed and livestock feed. Remember, last time we spent much of our time discussing on the two classes of livestock feeds, that's laffiges and concentrates. Thereafter, we identified some of the nutrients which are found in the livestock feeds. So we discussed the importance of those nutrients and also the source of the nutrients. So let us proceed by looking on the general importance of feeds. But before we go to that, let us familiarize with ourselves with this terminology so-called feed ration. This is just for our general knowledge. If we say feed ration, this is the feed mixture which contains all the essential nutrients in the right quantity and quality as needed by the animals for growth, maintenance, and production. So feed ration is the feed mixture which contains all the essential nutrients in right quality and quantity as needed by the animals for growth, maintenance, and production. So there are two main classes of feed ration, and these are maintenance rations and production rations. Remember, we'll be discussing on the importance of feeds. Importance of feeds. So these feeds, they are very, very important just because some of them they'll play a role of maintenance in their body, and some of them they'll play a role of production uh, uh, in the products. Maintenance ration, these are feeds given to animals to maintain their bodily processes without losing or gaining weight. So maintenance rations, we are saying that these are feeds which are given to animals to maintain their bodily processes without losing or gaining weight. So what's the use of these maintenance ration? Or what's the importance of these maintenance rations? Number one, they are there to supply heat, energy for proper maintenance and functioning of the body. In order for the body to function properly, they'll need heat as well as energy. So energy and heat is being supplied from the maintenance type of rations. Apart from that, they are also there to repair the daily wear and tear of the body tissues. Remember, the body tissue, they'll reach a point where they'll get damaged, so they can be repaired on daily basis by these kind of rations, maintenance rations. And also, these maintenance rations, they are also very, very important just because they provide with minerals and vitamins for animal well-being. And most of the times, in order for these animals to be resistant from diseases, at least their body should have lots of minerals and vitamins. You can agree with me that some of the diseases they are due to lack of minerals and vitamins. So, in order for the animal's well-being or for the good health of the animal, they'll need these minerals and vitamins. So, maintenance ratios will provide with minerals and vitamins. Then we have production rations. Production ration is the right feed proportion given to animals over and above maintenance uh, given to a growing, working, and producing animal. So it is mostly met by feeding concentrate mixture to animals. Why these animals needed to be provided with production rations? Because uh, for their proper, in order for them to grow well, for their proper growth. Apart from that, it will stimulate production. If at all the animals maybe they were giving less less yield or less produce, because of production ratios, they are able to give you enough produce. And also production ratios will also help in high working performance in animals. If at all their working performance was not good, but with the production ratios given to them, their working performance is improved. So both the maintenance and the production ratios are essential in the body of the animals. In short, we have looked on the importance of the feeds, importance of the rations. They are very, very important. So each and every uh, nutrient found in the feeds will play a function, as we have already discussed earlier on. Therefore, it is therefore needed that the feeds which are provided to the livestock should have at least a complete a balanced diet. Should have a balanced diet. At least the feeds provided to the livestock should have all the necessary nutrients which we have discussed. So how best can we do that? Just because uh, this type different types of feeds provided to livestock, they'll have maybe high content of a certain mineral but less content as with a certain other minerals. So but those minerals they'll be required uh, in good amount uh, for the animals. So how best can we do? It is possible for the farmers to formulate their own feed so that the feed should have a good amount of nutrients. Good amount of nutrients. So there are a number of ways, of course, of formulating the feeds. But the commonly used method is what we call Pearson square method. We're going to discuss this method just for our general knowledge, Yeah, so in order to use this method, there's need to know the following things. Number one, we'll need animals feed requirement. Animal feed requirement. Amount of feeds required by the animal. Let's say we can talk of kgs. How many kgs will the animal need? Is it per day? Is it per week? Is it per month? Apart from that, you also need to know the nutrient composition of the ingredients in this target on protein. That is, you should have a target on the protein required by a certain animal. Then we should also have that knowledge of the nutrient composition of the ingredients which we are going to mix. Definitely to reach the target protein required by each animal, you also need different type of feeds or different type of ingredients. So those ingredients to be mixed, at least we should have a knowledge of their nutrient composition. Let us come up with a Pearson square on how we can formulate our own rations. So, in order for us to formulate our own rations using Pearson square, there are steps which we need to follow. Let us start with step number one. The following are the steps which you need to follow when you want to formulate your own ratios. Number one, you draw a square. Then after that, you place the desired protein percentage at the center. Remember, I've said that different type of animals, they'll have different amount of, desired protein percentage. So the second step is placing the desired protein percentage at the center of the square. Then you draw diagonals of the square. After that, you place the percentage of each feedstuff to be mixed. The ingredients will have different percentage in terms of protein content. So you place those protein amount or protein percentage of each feedstuff to be mixed at the left corner of the square. Then you subtract across the diagonal smallest number to largest number. The numbers we're talking about here, we're talking of the number, the desired protein percentage which you have placed there at the center, then it will be the number, and you subtract it with the percentage of each feedstuff to be mixed, which we have placed it at the left corner of the square. So make sure that when you are subtracting across the diagonal, the smallest number should be subtracted to the largest number. Definitely it means we're going to have a negative number, but we just disregard the negative sign. Then lastly, you place the numbers obtained after you have subtracted diagonal across the diagonal. Then you place the number which you have obtained on the right corner. For example, a farmer wants to formulate a 20% protein feed of her broiler chickens using soybean meal, abbreviated SBM, containing 40% protein, and maize meal, abbreviated MM, containing 10% protein. So using Pearson square method, formulate a 800 kg meal for chicken for a week. So from the example, we're going to follow the steps which we have already learned. Remember, step number 1, we said you draw a square. So here it is. Here is the square. It's just a matter of drawing the square. Can you try that on the piece of paper? Then step number 2, we mentioned that you place the desired protein percentage at the center. On the example, we're saying that the farmer would like to formulate the feed of which the protein percentage of the feed to be formulated should be 20%. Therefore, our desired protein percentage is 20%. So you get that 20% and put it on at the center of this square. Then step number 3 is just a matter of drawing the diagonals. So you draw the diagonals of the square. Then you go to step number 4. On step number 4, you place the percentage of each feedstuff to be mixed at the left corner of the square. So here is our square, and this is the left corner of the square. And the task there on step 4 is just a matter of placing the percentage of each feedstuff. So from the example of being given that we have 40% soybean meal and 10% maize meal. So as per instruction step 4, we place the percentage of each feedstuff at the left corner of the square. Then you go to step number 4. On step number 4, we say that we now subtract across the diagonal. Subtracting across the diagonal. Remember, we're saying that the smallest number to subtract the largest number. So from this diagonal, the smallest number is 20, the biggest number is 40. So you subtract 20 minus 40. obviously we're going to get negative 20. But now that negative, we say that we disregard the negative sign, so just put 20. Then another diagonal where we have 20 and 10. The figures which we are having on the next diagonal is 10 and 20. So you subtract. Remember, smallest to largest. So the smallest is 10 minus 20. We're getting negative 10. Remember, from the example, we want to find the we want to formulate an 800 kg feed. 800 kg feed. So the figures which we are going to get and place them at the right corner of the uh, square. This will represent the part of the feed to be mixed. The part of the feed to be mixed. And if you can observe well on the diagonal, like this diagonal, you can see here we have 10% maize meal, and here is the 20% recommended crude protein which we want to mix. And yet here we're saying that here is 10% maize meal, and after subtracting to 20%, we're getting parts of soybean meal. We may tend to ask, how come? Here we have the maize meal and and subtracting with 20%, and yet here we're writing part of soybean meal. Why? The mixture here of 20% crude protein, it's a mixture of it will be a mixture of the two feedstuffs which are being presented in the example. In the example, the mixture will contain part soybean meal and part maize meal. So from this 20%, we should take it that 20% part should be soybean meal, the part of 20% should be maize meal. So if this 20% of which we are saying that part is soybean meal and part maize meal, we have subtracted part of maize meal, definitely it means we are remaining with another different part now, which is soybean meal. That's why here we have placed soybean meal. And also from this diagonal where we have subtracted 20 to 20%, 40% soybean meal, we have indicated maize meal. 20 subtracting 40% soybean meal, but here we have indicated 20 parts maize meal. The reason is the same, as I've already said, that 20% should be the mixture of maize meal and soybean meal. So if we have subtracted from soybean meal, it means what is remaining from here is maize meal. It's maize meal. That's why here it's like the opposite. The subtraction of the recommended percentage of crude protein to soybean meal, the difference we're putting the opposite, which is maize meal, So upon reaching here, it will be easy now to calculate amount of in terms of kg of the two mixture of the two meals, soybean meal as well as maize meal. We can easily tell how many kgs we'll take from soybean meal and how many kgs we'll have to use from maize meal. Using these two figures, we're saying that we're going to take 10 parts soybean meal and 20 parts maize meal. So let us now formulate a 800 kg feed as asked from the example. So from the last step, we have reached that part of soybean meal, or we're going to take 10 part of soybean meal, and we're also going to take 20 part of maize meal. So in order for us to know how many kgs from soybean meal, how many kgs from maize meal, first of all we're going to add the two ratios, 10 plus 20, which is 30. After doing that, then we can calculate the quantity of the two meals. Remember, it means the total which we have added, the two portions we have added, will be representing the 800 kg which we want to formulate, the 800 kg feed which we are going to formulate. But from the 800 kg, part of the kg should come from soybean meal, part of the kg should come from maize meal. So remember, on the last step, we have developed that 10 portions or part should come from soybean meal. So we'll say if 30 portions represent 800 kgs, what about 10 portions? It will be less kg. So therefore we'll come up with 10 divided by 30 times 800 kgs. Those zeros will cancel, the zeros will cancel, then we'll remain with the zeros will cancel, we'll remain with 800 kgs on top over 3, which is giving us 267 kgs. The same applies with maize meal. From the on the last step, which when of Pearson's pair, we have reached this far that 20 portions will come from maize meal. So we also say that total portion, which is 30 portion, is equivalent to 800 kgs. What about 20 portion? It will also be less. So it will be 20 divided by 30 times 800 kgs. The zeros will also cancel. On top will remain with 2 times 800 kgs, which is 1600 divided by 3 down there. So the answer there will be 533 kgs. So the meal they want us to formulate, the 800 kg meal that they want us to formulate, 267 kgs will come from a soybean meal, while 533 kgs will come from maize meal. So that will be the quantity. Then you mix up formulating the feed. Let us now look on the last part, or on the factors to consider when feeding livestock. There are factors at least the farmers should consider when they would like to feed their livestock. And some of them are: number one, type of animal. Remember, in Form 1, we learned that we have two types of animals depending on their digestive system. That's ruminants and non-ruminants. So when you are feeding the livestock, you should consider that on the type of animal. Am I feeding the ruminant animal? Am I feeding the non-ruminant animal? Obviously, ruminant animals will be provided with refuges, while non-ruminant animals are concentrates. Another factor can be age and body size. Most of the times, young or small animals don't need the feeds which are rich in proteins. Why? The proteins are there for body building. So the young animals, they are still young, they'll need to grow. So in order for them to grow, to build up their body, they'll need protein. So in short, young or small animals need more protein, the feeds which are rich in protein, than old ones. But in terms of body size, obviously the animals with small body will need less amount of food, but the animals with large body size, they will need a lot of feed to match with their body. Another factor we will need to consider when feeding livestock is condition of animals. Condition of animals. Are the animals expectant? They want to give birth. Are they on a flash? Or they want to conceive? So those animals with the condition of them being on gestation period or them being expectant or them which want they want to meet with the females, maybe they are on heat, they are supposed to be given special feed. They're supposed to be given special feeds. So the condition of animal will matter. The condition of animal will matter. Purpose of animal is also one of the factors to consider when feeding livestock. For example, if the animal its purpose is for drought, it is there for drought. Therefore, they will need more energy in order for them to do the activity. Pulling, walking, they will lose a lot of energy. Therefore, they also need to recover the energy from the food, the feed. So definitely the animals which are there for drought, they will need the feed stuff which are rich in carbohydrates as much as possible to recover their energy. Quality of feed also matters. Quality of feed also matters. That is, each and every animal will need the feeds which are uh, balanced, the balanced diet feed. Those feeds with all the essential nutrients present. Uh, they are the good type of feeds to be provided to the livestock. Apart from that, palatability. Palatability. Here we're talking of appetite, the appetite of the animal. You should provide with feeds which are appetizing to the animals. We're talking of the feeds which can easily be accepted by the animals. And also digestibility. Remember, different type of animals though also have different degree to which those animals will digest a certain feed, a certain feed. For example, on types of animals, we're saying that we've mentioned of having ruminants and non-ruminants. For ruminants animals, they can digest even tough feeds, but it is impossible for non-ruminants to digest the feeds which are rich or they are in high content of fiber. So digestibility also matters. And lastly, we can also look on cost of feed. Definitely, we have those feeds which are cheap and locally available, and those which are expensive, where which we buy them from even stores. We buy them from the shops. So this is one of the factors the farmer will also consider: cost of feed. Is it manageable for him to use expensive feeds, or maybe he should use the cheap feeds? So it will depend on the capital availability or the amount of money available for the farmer to buy or not to buy the uh, feed. Obviously, it will also depend on the type of animals. Are the animals highly profitable or not? If they are profitable, you can use expensive feed. But if they are not profitable at all, you are supposed to use cheap feeds. So that makes the end of the topic. What is remaining is for us to write this exercise. As already said earlier on, we're learning on our the first topic on this holiday, said that the exercise, you should copy the exercise and write the answer. After writing the answer, you can either use the camera and make a shot of the exercise after giving out the answer, then you send to my inbox, or you can just type direct on the phone, but make sure that you use my inbox, not the group, not the group chat. Thank you very much for listening to this lesson. I hope uh, everything is well. We have understood what we have discussed today and will be applying on our daily lives. For now, bye.